A második világháború utolsó hónapjaiban mintegy 12 000 magyar katona érkezett Dániába, akiket a németek háborús szolgálatra kényszerítettek. Civilek is voltak velük, nők és gyermekek. Miért jöttek? Kik voltak ők? Mit akartak itt? Ezek a kérdések azóta megválaszolatlanul maradtak. Erről írt könyvet Soren Peder Sorensen, dán újságíró, aki 10 évvel a háború után 1955-ben született Jyllandban, Dánia nyugati partjainál, egy olyan településen, ahol jártak annak idején a magyarok is. Mintegy 550-en voltak. A településnek pedig 600 dán lakosa volt. Tehát egymásra voltak utalva. Nagyapja helyi elöljáró volt, az ő íratai között talált a magyarokra vonatkozó feljegyzéseket, emiatt is kezdett el kutatni ebben a témakörben. A jyllandi magyarok mind támogatták az ellenállási mozgalmat. Létezett is közöttük egy megállapodás, mely szerint a megfelelő pillanatban a magyarok majd a dánok oldalán fognak harcolni a német megszállók ellen. Ez így is történt. A híres koppenhágai lázadás bebizonyította, hogy az egymástól távol élő dánok és magyarok össze tudtak fogni a totális rendszer ellen, mint valódi európaiak. Filmünkben az ő történetüket szeretnénk bemutatni. A katonákét, velük tartó asszonyaik és gyerekeik viszontagságait ebben a tragikus élethelyzetben.
I'll tell you a story about this place here. And it was on Sunday, the 21st of April, 45, that there was a Hungarian troop and battalion here in Rosenborg Castle, and they were get the order from a German officer that they should go to Berlin to the fights in the streets in Berlin. And then the Hungarian soldiers, all as one, decided to run out of this place, and they escaped from the castle and run out in the streets. And the Germans get very surprised over that action. They was not prepared of it. So we saw in the next 2, 3, 4 hours heavy shooting here in the streets. And the Hungarian get hiding at the metro station here in the Narrow, and the church there over get destroyed of shooting from the German guns. There was 8 Danish people who get killed by that shooting. We don't know how many Hungarian soldiers who get killed, and we don't know how many German soldiers who get killed. But this is one of the most dramatic episodes in Denmark about the Hungarian soldiers. They were a part of the German occupation power, but they don't want to be part of this German occupation part. And therefore they want to be in good contact with the Danish people. And they came to Denmark unprepared, and the German occupation power was too unprepared of so many soldiers.
Unprepared, untrained, and without weapons.
Some of them have weapons from the Germans, but they were under education. So my understanding is then they were under education. They got the guns from the Germany, and then they have to leave the guns when they were finished their education. I was very surprised that there were 12,000 Hungarian soldiers in the whole of Denmark. I think it was only in the Paris, but it was over the whole. So surprising for me that there came so many with families, some with families in my Paris. They make a Danish-Hungarian workbook because to better understanding each other. Because it was important that they have to understand each other in this very critical situation. I know from my home Paris they worked very hard that the Hungarian soldiers could stay in the Paris until they could get with train back to Hungary. But they get not the permission to do that because the English, it was the commander from them, and they say the Hungarian soldiers have to leave the country together with the German soldiers. And there was a growing panic in the Hungarian because they were frightened to go out together with the German because there was a very bad relationship. And then it was so that the Hungarian get marched to the border after the German, and sometimes they were taking care of the English army. They take care of them and protect them onto the border. They came in camps in Germany, in English camps, most of them. There was one battalion who get from Bornholm, get to east to the Soviets. Women and children, they were staying. There were some few officers who were staying because perhaps they were sick or so. So perhaps there was about 700, 800 people back in the refugee camps on the Red Cross, and they get permission to stay in Denmark, and some of them stayed, but most of them were leaving Denmark latest in 49. They were so crying in their heart to see the families. They have only one thing in their head: to come home, to know how are our families. But it was not possible for them to get out of the camps because they have to wait. And then when they come home, they say, "How are you staying so long?" But I have talked with many who get back, and it was very different, the situation for them. But I've heard from all, it was not clever to talk about that. Right. Be silent, be quiet about that, because you'll be punished if you talk about it. And therefore the silence, no talking to your children, no talk to your friends, no talking to your colleagues about that, to be silent. Yeah, but the cadets, it was about the group was about, I think, about 200 people.
Ah, yes.
With all the people, with the crew, about the horse people and families, and so about 200, and they get a status as civil, not a part of the army, but as civilists after the war, together with a group of architects. There came a group of 100 architect students from Budapest. There was also a kind of civilist, and therefore they could stay in Denmark. They get the title friendly enemies, and they get food, and they could live in Denmark and get work. So the cadets, it was a very, both the cadets and the architects, it was a very well-educated young people.
Of course.
And they want to get further with their life. Some of the architects get good works here in Denmark. And the cadets, most of them, but not all of them, most of them leave Denmark later, perhaps to Canada or to other places. I'll still say it's a not very well-known part of our story. It's not very well-known. The most of the public in Denmark, it's related to 56. We get refugees in 56, about 1,400. And I wondered, why is it so, and why do we not know more about this part of the occupation? It's important history for the relationship, but I think it's too important that perhaps not the people from this time because they are not living more, but perhaps it's important for their children and their grandchildren to know why were my grandfather in Denmark.